Cadillac Tramps. Rest in peace, Gabby. A man who I met a couple times from the Cadillac Tramps. Actually, I think they were in the studio here as well on Dutchie's show, and a very well-liked Southern California punk band. A lot of my friends, I've had one friend who canceled tonight on me because he was at the memorial, the service. So it's just me right now, but my life coach, Mary Lee, is going to be calling in. So you don't have to listen to me ramble on. Me and Mike, Big Mike's here. Mike, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm here.
You're here?
Yeah, I made it.
That's good.
There are a lot of us that lived through the punk scene in the 80s and 90s that didn't make it, and wow, I've buried quite a few of them. But Gabby will be missed. His music will be missed, as you could tell by that song. They were pretty good. They were pretty intense, to say the least. So, rest in peace, Gabby. Cadillac Tramps are playing tonight, I believe, in Long Beach. I wanted to go, but this is like kind of a stupid story. But I was driving and my bumper in my car fell off, and then it dragged underneath my car for like a half hour. So that was kind of stupid. So I turned right back around and went home, and I couldn't get the bumper out from underneath my car, so I had to use a jack and get my bumper out. By the time I got it out, it was just basically destroyed. So I found a bumper on eBay. And I'm not a mechanic, but I'm going to try to put it on myself. If not, I have an auto body place. I'll do it. So yeah, no, it'll all work out. I just hate driving around without a bumper. I'm afraid of most things. Getting a ticket, which is, no big deal. It's just fix a ticket. So, yeah, life goes on, man. But yeah, my name's Dan Rupp. This is the Dan Rupp Show, Rock to Recovery. Where we focus on recovery, and we just have rock guys here, but all my rock guys are at the memoriam service for Gabby from the Cadillac Tramps. Great band. If you've never seen them live, you've missed out. I saw them live a couple times, and great band. So thank you, Gabby. I'm sorry to see you leave so soon. I think you're only in your 50s. Oh shit. I'm looking at 50 in my eyes right now. But yeah, you could call in at our numbers, 909-360-8330. That's our number. A quick shout out to my sponsors, Whiteside. That's my rehab center that I go to every Friday night. Or actually, I go there Friday. Because if I get there at night, then I miss dinner. But I get there during the day, I get dinner. And if I get there really early, I get lunch and dinner. In fact, I could even get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're very hospitable to their alumni. So, www.whiteside.com. I do not give out their number because it's anonymous, okay? They don't want me to do that. Same thing with Cedar House. Cedar House is located, Whiteside's in Riverside. Cedar House is in Fontana. I've only spoke there. I've never stayed there, thank goodness, because that's high security. We're talking barbed wire and everything else, but that's www.cedarhouse.com, CEDER.com, and that's it's a great place. I can't bad talk it. I mean, it's different than Whiteside, but if you're under time and you have to do it, that's a good place to go. It's not bad. The food there isn't bad. It's all right, So, yeah, Whiteside, the food is really good. Chef Curtis, thank you, as always, for feeding us. And anybody's listening at Whiteside, because I know you guys do, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your life and let me help you, because helping you doesn't just help you, it helps me. It's kind of like what my pastor says. And my pastor is Bill Kennison, and he's been on my show. And if you don't know who Bill Kennison is, he's Sam Kennison's older brother, his manager. And of course, Sam Kennison passed quite a while ago. But when he preaches and he ministers the word and quotes scripture and stuff like that, he always says he doesn't do it for his for the people. He does it for him because it helps him to stay focused and balanced. And that's kind of what the same thing I do at my AA meetings. And and it's kind of strange because I just recently joined a new AA group, and it's my home group now, and it's called Live and Let Live, and it's in Riverside. And I hate the drive. I don't like driving to Riverside. But who am I talking to? I'm talking to Mike. He drives from Victorville. So
yeah, it's a little bit farther from Rancho to Riverside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little farther from where I'm at to Rancho.
Yeah. So no, I shouldn't be complaining about the drive. I see Mike, and I'm like, this poor guy. But my son lives in Victorville, so I understand. He works in Rialto, so.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, us Southern Californians, we love to commute. I mean, that's just what we do. We love our... How many times have you seen people put more money into their cars than their houses here in Southern California?
Right.
Because we just love our cars. We love to commute.
Yeah, we love being in our cars.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And even with my bumper still missing, it's not coming in till Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
I'm still, like, driving around, and I'm like, geez, I hope I don't get pulled over. And it's no big deal. All I would do is get a fix-it ticket, I think.
For a bumper, I don't think so. As long as your tail lights are still working, I think you shouldn't get a fix-it ticket for it.
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't go to law school or nothing like that, but...
Well,
yeah.
you're the best legal advice I have right now.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I got the Google in front of me, so whatever Google tells me, that's the truth.
Actually, one of my really good friends is a lawyer. I should call him and ask him. But I have great legal representation, so yeah. His name is Robert Logan, by the way. www.robbielogan.com. That's a free plug for you, Robbie. Jerk. No, Robbie's my good friend. He is my left-wing friend that keeps me centered. Because people tend to see me as a right-wing crazy, which I'm not, and people from the left see me as a right-wing crazy. People from the right see me as a left-wing crazy, and I'm just, I tell people I'm just crazy, period.
Don't mess with crazy people. That's what I tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the people you don't want to mess with is crazy people. You think I'm crazy? Don't mess with me.
Yeah, get away from me.
Exactly.
Don't talk to me. But that's the way people view me, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Just don't get me pissed. Right, Mike?
Pretty much. All right, we have a phone call. Let me go ahead and take care of this here. Hold on one second.
Got it. All right, I think this is my guest. 909. Is that Marilee? Marilee? Oh, hold on. I got to put you off mute. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
It's so lovely to be on again. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for calling in.
No, believe me, it's always my pleasure. I have so much fun with you.
No, I like seeing you in person, but calling you is fun.
Well, so tell me, what's the topic for tonight?
The topic for tonight is a few. One,
Okay.
about the election. The inauguration is this coming Friday,
Yes,
and I know you said you weren't going to vote. Did you not vote?
I did not vote.
Okay, that's understandable. A lot of my friends
Mhm.
didn't.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and
Go ahead.
number two, I just want to talk briefly about tolerance.
Mhm.
I joined a new group. It's called Live and Let Live,
Okay.
and it's in Riverside,
Mhm.
and it's a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender group,
Okay.
and I'm not any of those.
Right.
But they welcome everybody because they're tolerant.
Absolutely.
What is your opinion on tolerance?
I'm right there with you and them. Tolerance. Um, it seems to me that people have an issue, like they have to remind themselves to be tolerant, but really, it's a misinterpretation of really why we should be accepting of others, and it's because we're not here to judge. It's plain and simple. We're just not here to judge. We're here to love, and there's no room in loving others. There's no room for judgment.
Right. Because, I mean, that's pretty much what God does. He loves us so
Exactly.
much. I mean, He so badly. If you're not a Christian, you probably don't get this. And I mean, that's fine. And if anybody wants to call in, it's 909-360-8330. I lost a friend, Gabby, from the Cadillac Tramps. It was a punk rock band. And
Mhm.
he was only in his 50s. And there's not time to hate and to judge people. And
Mhm.
God so badly just wants to have a relationship with you. That's
Mhm.
what my pastor preaches. He doesn't preach about hate and about, judging and doing all that type of crap, So, yeah.
Well, I think the confusion comes from the inability to understand the self. It's the ego, it's the arrogance to think that, it's the mind that judges others. But the heart does not judge. The heart doesn't differentiate. The heart doesn't recognize any boundaries or borders. It's accepting. And when we say, God wants to have a relationship with us, we need to understand that relationship we have with God is the one we have with ourselves. And so when we are so judgmental of others, it's because we are lacking within ourselves. We have not accepted ourselves. There's so many holes, let's say, in our cheese, as a friend of mine used to say, that, you're just not able to accept and to recognize. But it's so much easier to look at other people, point the finger, and, say what's wrong with them. But when you're able to point that finger at yourself and recognize what is wrong with me, why do I have to keep being like this, quote unquote, you start to work on yourself, all of your shortcomings. And that's where true tolerance comes into play, because you recognize when others have not worked on themselves, it's just as simple as that. You look at them and you say, well, poor you, because you haven't worked on yourself. You don't have that relationship with God. That's where it comes in. It starts with you. And as long as we separate ourselves from others and we have a separation from ourselves and God, you'll never understand the oneness, the tolerance, the love that we have for one another.
Right. So let me just add this, Marilee. Okay, you're a life coach, okay? You coach people on how to live, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
You sound so arrogant.
I know it does, but you are. That's what you do.
It's funny because another friend of mine, a good friend of mine, pointed it out, saying that life coach doesn't really describe me, really what I do and what I am, but we're just going to take that for right now, because a life coach basically puts out there that it's a business, and it's really not what I do at all. So we're just going to go with that for right now, but mostly I'm a teacher.
Okay.
That's what I am. But anyway, let's go with that.
Okay.
Life coach.
So-
Sorry.
That's fine. So let me ask you a question. You've got a few boys,
I do.
okay?
And a girl.
3, if I think. 3 boys, 1 girl?
That's right.
Okay. So if one of your boys or your girl came out and said they were gay, would you be tolerant of that? Or would you, like, kind of have some pushback or some second thoughts on it? Or would you not
I would
be
be-
accepting of it?
Oh, no, I would be absolutely, positively accepting of it. Absolutely. But you have to remember why we're here. We're here to love, not to judge. I'm not here to hold anybody accountable for their relationship with God. I'm not. I'm here to be one with God, to be loving, to be kind, to be accepting. And, you know, whatever definition you give yourself, whatever label you give yourself, ultimately that's the relationship you have with God. I'm not to judge that. It's your journey. These are your choices. And if, you know, you're not getting the reflection that you want from life, you know, if you're not experiencing the things you want to experience in life, honestly, you've got no one to blame but yourself. You have to start there. That's the law. It's the law. You can't get around it. You got to love yourself first. And in doing so, you spill over onto others. So who am I to judge and point my finger at anybody? I don't care if it's my kid or anybody else. I'm going to love you. And if you're mean, hurtful, or you go against the grain in whatever reason, I'm just going to look at you and I'm going to be tolerant because I understand you haven't accepted yourself yet. You don't really know who you are yet. And if you're accepting that kind of behavior that you're putting out there that you know is less than your highest self, well, that's on you. But it's not on me. I know who I am. I'm still going to love you. Whenever you get around to loving you, that's your journey.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and this is a difficult question because this is something that
Lay it
I
on
deal
me.
with. I'm gonna lay it
like
on
those.
you. I'm gonna slam your face right in it. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
love it. Okay, go ahead.
Can you be tolerant of people that hate?
Well, define hate. Are they abusive?
Someone who just hates black people, someone who just hates gay people. Can he just give them love and hope they'll come around, or just?
It's the only way. Love is always the answer, and it's the only way. There's no type of there's nothing that I can do to that person. Anybody who is feeling hate toward any label, they need to really take a look at themselves and understand why. Why? Because they have expectations. They have expectations for somebody else to measure up to that person's standards. But more often than not, that person doesn't hold themselves up to any standard at all. And certainly not if they have hate in their heart toward anybody. Because there's no reason for it. That darkness you have is something that you need to focus on. You need to sit there and ask yourself, why? Why do I have this hate? It's because there's an expectation there. And that's something that plagues humanity, is expectations and assumptions. Those expectations get us in trouble all the time. And we have to remind ourselves that nobody owes us a thing. Nothing. Nobody has to act right for the other person. I need to act right because of my relationship with God. I'm holding myself to my highest self because that's a deal I have with God. And, you know, everybody around me is the beneficiary. I'm just going to love because that's a promise I made. So anyone who is having issues with a lack of acceptance, you know, of all these other, let's say it's not your religion, it's not your race, it's not your, you know, your shoe size. I don't care what it is. You just have to understand that God is manifest in so many different shapes and sizes, and the world is perfect and beautiful. But it's man who gives us all of our labels, tries to define us, tries to separate us. That's where hate comes from. But when you understand what God is, that unity, the oneness, that there is no definition. You know, when one asks, you know, what is God? And the Bible says, I am that I am. Well, you have to, in our English language, the word that is what separates us. So, if I'm looking at you, okay, so God is saying, I am that I am. So I am that Dan. I am that table. I am that tree. But do you see that the word that is the distinction between you and I? But if I remove that word, that, and just stick to I am, God is literally saying, okay, what is God? I am. I am. It's universal.
So
There's only a oneness.
Okay. Now this.
I got your head spinning. Oh no.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Okay. So
okay, good.
I consider myself a Christian. Okay. I believe in the Trinity.
Me too.
I believe in Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God, and the way it works, and all that. And but when I went to rehab, my counselor told me that I need to be more spiritual. She goes, only difference between being spiritual and being a Christian is that if you're spiritual, you don't believe in hell. But if you're a Christian, you believe in hell. I didn't really, still haven't wrapped my head around it. I see my counselor like every week, you know? And I don't get that. So what do you consider yourself, more spiritual or more Christian? Or does it really matter as long as you're just a good person helping people? You know, I mean, does it matter?
Okay, so let's try to wrap our head around this again, because that's, you know, a few questions in one.
Yeah, it is.
So when she's talking about the difference between spiritual and Christianity and hell, well, you have to ask, what is hell anyway? I mean, is it this mysterious place that we don't know until we die? I don't believe that. I believe we create our own heaven or hell here on earth. And it depends on if we understand the laws or not. If we are oblivious to the natural laws, you're going to be living in hell. You're going to suffer. It's going to be very, very painful, and you're not going to understand why. And it's because of your actions. So when now I don't know her, but spirituality is something that we are a oneness without a definition. So when you say I'm a Christian, somebody else says they're Mormon, somebody else says they're Buddhist, and it's like, all right, well, whose God is the God? Which is the right God? That's why we have so much dissension between all these religions, and it's because we try to define ourselves. We try to separate ourselves in our belief system. That's where all this pain comes from. There's no such thing. That's man. Man has done that. But God has no boundary. There is no definition. There is no that.
Right.
That is Mormon. That is Christian. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God is just I am. I am all. And in all, it means that I have manifest in this pulse of our universe. I am the heartbeat of this universe. So if I am the all, the universe, the stars, the dirt, the galaxy, the tree, the animal, why isn't he me?
I agree.
See?
No.
So that's why when the law says you have to love your one and only God, your one and only God is you. You are the manifestation. Just as the tree and the mammal or dirt in the sky, everything else. So when you say I am, it's because there's the oneness with the all. The infinite. The only thing that separates us is the mind, and we are the infinite mind. Unfortunately, the ego gets in the way, and the ego is so arrogant to say that I am not God. I am separate from God. That's arrogance. No, you are the manifestation of God in his likeness. Just the mere fact that we breathe, without that breath, we are nothing. And the only thing that defines us is our external self. That's it.
Right.
And some people suffer from a very thick ego. So they think that in all their best effort to call themselves Christian or whatever religion, still they are in this man's world of, this is who I am. My name is Marilee, and I'm 5'7", and I have dark hair, and I drive this car and live there, and blah, 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 blah. That's all your ego of who you think you are. And that's complete arrogance, and that can go away in an instant. But if you understand the spirit, the soul, the breath, what you breathe in from this universe and what you breathe out is God. It's what keeps you here. It's your heart and soul. And if you stay to love, choose to love every single day and forget about judgment and the lack of tolerance, that's the mind, that's the ego. Stay away from that. And you have to navigate your whole life from the heart. And God is there. It's in your heart and your intuition, and it never leads you astray. Never. It's the mind that screws us up. The mind who doubts, that doesn't believe, that sits there and goes around in circles and round in your head trying to figure out what is the best angle to take on any situation. And that's why we get ourselves in trouble. And that's why so many people are suffering in their relationships as well, because they don't understand what it is to truly love themselves first. Without doing it, you'll never succeed in that relationship. There's going to be problems. You have to do that first. Right. And in the Bible where it says, you cannot honor both God and money. You must make a decision there. And if you continue to honor money in this man's world, you'll never truly understand what love is. You'll never truly understand the freedom of it and the separation of money. See, there's a difference between man's world of riches and God's world of abundance. So as long as we continue to fight for riches, we'll always be broke. It'll never be enough, and you'll always be tired, searching without satisfaction, without true gratitude that lasts. Instead, you're hurting, and then you get into fear. Even if you have some sort of success in your life, and you're making, I don't know, let's say you were making $20,000 a year, and all of a sudden you bumped up to $1 million because your business is doing so well. It's still predicated on what you did in business in man's world. You didn't create it from a world of love. See, that's the freedom. If you can create it from a world of love, then abundance is yours. It's eternal. So it doesn't matter if you make some money, a little money, a lot of money, and you lose it all. You don't care. You're an alchemist. You can't continue to create it over and over again. That's the beauty of living. Anyway, sorry, I'm got off topic.
Yeah.
I can really get on my soapstand.
Yeah. Whose show is this? I'm just kidding. I love you, Marilee.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I do too. I love it. I love the opportunity to sit here and have good conversation with you and share it with your listeners, and it's just the best. The more that we can work together to really teach people how important it is to love yourself.
Okay.
That commitment will give you tolerance.
The weird thing about this age of social media is I have my phone in front of me, my laptop next to me, and people message me. They don't call in like they used to at old-time radios.
Okay.
They just said, "What do you think of an atheist?"
What do I think of an atheist?
Yes.
I think they're hurting. And I think you have to remember what pain is. Remember, pain comes from the heart, right? You say, my heart is breaking. When your heart is breaking, that is God calling, saying, come to me. So what is God? What do you mean, come to me? Love. God is love. And your heart represents love. So if it's breaking, it's what you need. So you need to find out whatever your situation that you're dealing with, and oftentimes people think it's money, but it's not. It's relationships. When you figure out, oh, my heart is breaking and I need something, you've got to sit there and think, What is it? Where am I hurting? Is it my relationship with my husband or wife, my kids, my job? Whatever it is, the answer is love. You need to learn where to apply it and how much.
Okay.
You got to kind of think of it like this. When you first fall in love, you could be broke. You could be, facing all kinds of things in your life that are just like scary as heck in man's world of money. But if you're falling in love, somehow or another, it doesn't matter. You're in love. Everything feels good. Everything feels right.
Okay, so let me just say this. Okay.
Yeah.
You know I know you.
Yes, you do.
And you know I love you. But you were married and you went through a divorce.
Correct.
I don't know all those situations. That's none of my business.
I'm an open book.
Okay. But one relationship, this is one reason I work so hard with, and my wife, Rhonda. This is why I work so hard to keep our marriage together, because I know if I get another relationship, all am I asking for is more problems.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not going to be any better. I'm still going to have issues with someone else because.
Okay, so can I cut you off?
Else.
That's right. So you know how they say history will repeat itself, right? Unless you learn the lesson.
Right.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you're saying. If I don't learn it here, I'm just going to repeat it again and again and again, and we all suffer from heartbreak.
Right.
Right. But guess what? You have to remember it starts with one. So if Dan doesn't know how to love himself, he'll never know how to love Rhonda. But if Rhonda goes away and Dan still doesn't love himself, Dan finds another woman who's willing to love. Dan still doesn't love himself, doesn't know how to love her properly. It goes on, and that's why everyone is suffering in their relationships, because they never, ever understood truly what it is to love themselves.
Yeah.
And every relation is doomed to fail until you get that down. Number one, you got to figure out what the hell it is to love yourself. Number one. Number two, you got to make a commitment. Are you going to honor God, or are you going to honor money? Love or money, love or money. That's all there is. There's no in between. But you don't know the situation, Marilee. Well, but I had to, Marilee. No. It's a commitment. Make it to love. And then you'll have success in everything you do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in everything you do. You no longer will you have problems with your business associates, with your children, with their teachers, with your friends, with your spouse. There's no such thing. You've made a commitment to love. And as long as you don't allow money, expectations, assumptions get in the way, you're going to be fine.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So
give me another one.
Well, class is over. I just heard the bell in the background.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Was that your phone, or was that somebody at the door?
That's a school bell.
Neither here.
Are you at the school?
I'm not at the school. I'm actually in Arizona.
Oh, you're still in Arizona. Okay.
I
Where did that bell
am.
come from then?
What's
that?
Where did that bell come from?
I have no idea. I don't even hear a bell.
Oh.
Ding dong.
Yeah,
ding,
yeah.
Dong,
Did you hear it? I heard it. I don't know where it came from.
Ding dong.
It's not on my side. I don't know. I don't hear it.
I thought it was somebody's phone. I thought it was Mike's phone.
It's not my phone. Mine's on silent.
Yeah, mine's on silent too.
All right.
So how are things in Arizona? What's going on? What are you doing out there?
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful out here. I've been having a calling. Like things that literally call me. Like I have my intuition that tells me I need to go somewhere. And not too long ago, I was on the phone with GoDaddy, and the gentleman answers the phone, and he and I hit it off so well, and he was just so sweet. And he happens to live in Arizona. And he has helped me out with the business, has joined the team. He's just been wonderful, part of the tribe. And we came out to visit him in December. We wanted to go to Sedona, but I got sick, and so we never made it. So this is our second trip out here visiting with him. And we went to Sedona yesterday, and it's so magical. The energy is phenomenal. The view is just, it's like, this is God's world right here. You know, this, if you haven't seen it, you have to see it. And they have these like healing vortexes. So we went out there and meditated and, you know, did all of our magical things that we do to love the world and set the world free. And yeah, just loving it. So we'll definitely be out here again.
When you coming back?
So, when am I? Actually, tomorrow we'll be back. Yeah,
okay.
I wanted actually to do a video yesterday from there so everybody could see how gorgeous it was, but I didn't have any reception, so I couldn't do it.
Oh.
Yeah. But, you know, that good old Facebook Live, I don't get a good connection, but from too many places, it gives me a hard time.
Yeah, I was going to do Facebook Live tonight, but who wants to look at me? If you were here, I'd put it on you. I'd put the
Aw,
but
that was sweet. Well, maybe next time we'll do it.
Next time we'll do it. You'll be back again. Brian,
Right.
My friend Brian, the stand-up, just texted me. He goes, I wish I was there. He goes, but he's under the weather, so.
Aw, tell him I said hello.
I will.
We're usually on together.
Yeah, you guys usually are, which is good because when I'm under the weather, I don't like coming in because I don't like talking into these mics because
right.
they don't always get cleaned properly and the headphones don't always get wiped down properly as much as I preach to wipe them down and clean them. But I can only do so much. I can't force people. I mean, you know, I'm not here. I'm not here 24/7. You know, I'm only you know, 1 day a week for 1 hour. So yeah. So no. So,
well,
I'm glad you're having a great time. That's just wonderful.
Really am.
And the boys are good, and the girls good.
Everybody is doing very well. Very well. I'm so proud of them. You know, it's funny because, you know, as kids, look at your mom and it's like I'm like this hippie, you know, okay mom, they make fun of me and all the things that I do and blow up. But now that they are growing up and their eyes are opened to so much more spirituality, science, the law of attraction, everything that I've always been teaching them about, you know, they're going out there and learning it on their own and putting the pieces together like, you know, that's what mom's been saying all along. And it just gives me so much pride. I'm so proud of my kids. They're loving human beings, and that's all I care about. The rest of it will come. Just be a loving human being. Understand what that means.
No, they are. I mean, when I see them, sometimes I can't remember which one is which, but they always give me a hug, and they always say hello. Hello, Dan. Hello. And I mean, I'm like, okay, is this Ben or is it, you know? Right. So
they're just grown men.
No, you raised them good.
Thank you.
So what else is going on? I mean, are you still you're still doing your YouTube show? I still see it.
Yep. Still doing YouTube.
I see it on Facebook now.
Right. Well, you know what so I do the Facebook Lives. When that became available, I was like, well, there you go, Marilee, because the YouTube is a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of work to sit there and find the time to do the filming and then do the editing and then uploading it and blah, blah, blah. And when it became live on Facebook, it was so much easier for me just because I'm on the go constantly.
Right.
And, so I've been doing that. And now what we're doing is we are working on inviting people to ask questions. So, you know, all of my friends and followers, anybody can go on to Facebook and ask me a question. Do a live video and say, hey, Marilee, I got a question, blah, blah, blah. I will answer you in video. And what I'm going to do is combine the two and then upload it to YouTube later. But in Facebook time is a lot of fun because we could really change the look and Facebook and what the purpose is. We'd have a lot of fun. It's kind of like a Dear Abby, but in live.
Could you imagine life without Facebook? I mean,
I know.
People make fun of it, like, oh, what are you on Facebook again? Well, you know,
it's
the way people communicate.
It is the way people communicate, and you really get to pick and choose who your friends are, so what kind of message comes through your feed. You know, if you've got a lot of negative people and a lot of negative stuff, delete them. You know, change your world. But for me, it's a great way for me to connect with people and to get the message out there. I don't know what the plan is or what the future holds with Facebook, but I may or may not. I don't know. I don't really know the direction. Part of me says to go further, have my face out there, and there's another part of me that says to retract and, just write books. So I'm sure the book is coming, but honestly, it's all in God's hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I do is what I do every day.
Yeah, you know what? I'm like, I dig Facebook, and I'm on it probably too much, but it beats watching the boob tube, if you ask me. And but I love reading. I love turning the page. I don't like Kindle. I don't like online news. I like my newspaper. I like to fill and read the news. People say, "Oh, well, you're old school. You're old-fashioned. You're an old man." I'm not that old. Okay, I'm not even 50 yet. Okay, so I'm getting there. It's looking at me straight in the face, but I'm not quite there yet.
Right. So tell me, is it easier to watch a video to learn, or is it better to read a book?
If it's something like fixing a faucet leak, it's kind of easier on YouTube to watch it, and I can just watch it on my phone.
Right.
But I'd rather still have it in a book, and I really want that'd be fine. I'd rather go to Home Depot and buy a book on how to repair household repairs, which I have about 3 books on doing household repairs, in which I think I've only opened them a few times, because usually I just dial a plumber or dial a handyman, and they'll come out and do it.
So if I did a video on any lesson at all, and it really touched you somehow, would you watch the video again, or would you be more inclined to highlight it in the book and go back to the book?
I'd probably watch it again, just because, like my AA meetings, I don't know if you heard earlier, I just started going to an AA meeting, a new one, and I go every Friday, and sometimes it's redundant, I was doing great, and then I started drinking, I started doing meth, and then I started doing this, and I started cheating on my wife, and then I stopped drinking, I stopped doing meth, I stopped doing heroin, and then everything's great now, and it kind of gets redundant.
Yeah.
But I still like to go, and I still like to see, because I like to see my friends. I like to meet people, and, I share a lot, which is kind of hard for me because I hate public speaking, which is hard to believe because people say, well, dude, you do a radio show. How can you hate public speaking? Well, I hide behind a microphone, okay? You can't see me. I'm not on a stage.
Right.
A while ago.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because nobody is looking at you to judge you.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to be heard than to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do stand-up, and I stopped doing that just because of drugs and alcohol. And I would go up on stage, and I went to see a friend's band, and the guitarist, he broke his guitar string. And the singer said, hey, Dan, come up here on stage, do some stand-up while Jay does his guitar. So I had to go up on stage, and there was a couple hundred people at this place. And I'm like, I didn't write anything. I didn't know anything. So I just winged it, man. And
that's cool.
And the singer, Andy, goes, Dan, he goes, you were really good. I'm like, thanks, dude. I needed that. Because I can't, you just doubt yourself,
Absolutely. But you know what? So many people doubt themselves. But you know where that comes from? The ego. The ego will tell you what you are or are not. But it's a false identity. That's not who you are at all. But see, when you really, truly connect with the Spirit and you know that you are God, you don't have to worry about those things. The Bible clearly says, from the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you have to have absolute confidence in that when you open your mouth, the Spirit will come through. It's not a conscious effort. It's not something that's thought of. It's just something that you open your mouth and let it flow. And the more pure your heart is, the cleaner you are. You've let go of all the pain, the suffering, the regret, all those things in your life. The purer your heart becomes, and the more confident you are, because you know who you are.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead,
Please.
Mike.
Being that she brought up the Bible, do you think the Bible is out of date?
Absolutely not. It's timeless.
Okay, and
Absolutely not.
so you don't think it needs to be rewritten?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. There's everything you need to know is in that Bible. And, there are a lot of people who read the Bible, let's say, front to back. They can tell you, the scripture recited, tell you where it's at in the Bible, if it's a, Old Testament, New Testament, who said it, blah, blah, blah. But all they are is an expert on the book. But never do they embody the teachings. See, when God said to follow me and be a fisher of men, He's not saying I'm your shepherd and go out there and read the Bible to everybody and, hold them accountable to their actions and get on their case and judge people. No. What He means is you need to do as I do. And when you do, you will become a natural leader. And that leader you will become magnetic. And you'll have a gravitational pull to where people will automatically come to you and ask you, what are you doing? How did you get to be so good at that, whatever it is? Because your heart. That's what you really need to understand. So when you open the book, you're not reading the Bible. The Bible's reading you. Pick anything out of there, it's going to tell you exactly what you need to know.
Okay.
It's not necessary. Yeah, it's not necessary to ever read from beginning to end. It's not meant for that.
Well, the reason I
It's
bring
magical.
it up is because I had some people come to my door the other day, and they were getting signatures they said that the Bible's out of date and they want it to get rewritten.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, and they had lists and lists, pages and pages of signatures they wanted me to sign, and I was like, you know what, and I just got a pamphlet from them, but I thought that was interesting, and then you brought it up, I wanted to get your side on it.
You know what, I appreciate the question, but who was it that wants to rewrite it? Was it a certain, religion? Group?
They didn't say. Oh, I'm sure they did, but I wasn't paying attention. Just like the people that come door to door, kind of people. I don't know who they're representing or anything, but yeah, that's what they were asking.
Well,
there's that bell.
There's
again.
a bell.
Oh, that's the clock.
Sorry. Is that a grandfather clock?
That is. It's a little clock here.
Okay.
Where are you?
Oh, that's so funny. I'm actually just in the house. It's a Tim's house, and he's got a little clock here. And I don't even hear it anymore, so I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It sounded like a school bell.
Okay, so but to answer your question on that, rewriting the Bible, there are many philosophies of how the Catholic Church basically cut that Bible up and all the scripture and made it their own, and it's a system of control, it's religion, and then everybody took it from there, did their own thing. Some people believe, some people don't, blah, blah, blah. That's all the arrogance of man. It's like you can do whatever you want to do to that book, but the law is the same. So you have to understand the law. So to actually think that there's people out there who are going to take that step to rewrite the Bible, really?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be rewritten. It doesn't matter what the Catholic Church did to the Bible. It doesn't matter what they left out or what they put in. God prevails. What we need to know at whatever given time will be revealed to us if we just ask. Just open it up and ask. It's magical, I'm telling you. Yeah.
So I take it you're not going to sign that petition that's going around.
I will not be signing that at all. As a matter of fact, I would have them. I would have them at my door for a very long time, as I would ask them question after question till they were stumbling. Yeah, definitely. I would invite that conversation.
You sound like my brother. My brother, who is he's a rabbi now. But he was born again first, and then he converted to Judaism. And he loves when the Mormons or the Seventh-day Adventists come to his door. He
Mhm.
welcomes him into his house and gives him coffee, and he goes, "Okay, let's talk."
Oh my God, that's
Because
funny.
he knows the Bible from left to right. I mean, he could quote scripture like nobody's business.
Right,
But
right.
but yeah, he loves
I
when
would
you
like to have
come
a
to
talk
his
with him.
store.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you should come in next time I have my pastor in. Bill Kennison has been in. I don't know if you
Yes,
remember Sam Kennison.
I do. Absolutely, I do.
Well, Bill's his older brother.
Oh, okay.
He's my pastor at my church.
Yeah.
And
All
you and
right.
him sound a lot alike because
Mm.
his church, the Fellowship of the Grove of Upland, and
Yes.
there's your free plug, Bill. Okay, so I'm not gonna
You
tithe.
know.
I'm not gonna tithe next weekend. Okay, I just gave you a free plug.
You
But
know, that's funny. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but no, but
So,
he says the same thing. He welcomes everybody to his church. He doesn't
right.
deny anyone, and he
Right.
doesn't ask for any money. Of course,
You
he
know.
does ask to tithe, but he
Uh
doesn't
huh.
put out the basket. He doesn't do that. He says, "Hey, we got a box out front. If you have a few extra, money,
Mhm.
shekels, a few
Mhm.
extra shekels, put them in there, and
Mhm.
thanks for tithing, because we do need
Mhm.
money to make the church work." So, and
Mhm.
Bill
Well,
Kennison is a great guy.
it's funny that he's there at the Grove. I actually looked into the Grove to do my show there, and there was something about their policy that didn't quite jive with what I was doing. But I just think it's coincidental that he happens to be there because I would go there and speak. Absolutely, and that's what the Merrilee Show is. I mean, we travel, we speak to small groups. I mean, intimate, deep conversations where we have real lasting. And I hate to say the word change, but it's more of a freeing of the soul. It's a deep understanding of what we're here to do. And when I teach these lessons, it's literally like a bell goes off and you just can't unring it. And people are just like, "Wow, I
Like that
never thought about
grandfather
it like
clock in the
that."
background.
Yeah, it's like that. But
Yeah, well,
but yeah.
let me know because I know both Bill and Sherry. So,
Okay.
I could probably, I know I can get you in, but
Yeah, get me in there.
I don't know
I
what
will
they're gonna
speak to them all.
cost, what they're gonna charge you, or if they're gonna charge you. I could
Mhm.
probably get you on an off day and not charge anything except for a AV person, which is usually $20 an hour.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, let's see what we can do. Ultimately, the goal of the Merrilee Show, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but is to get us back to the garden. That's where everything is provided.
Yeah, because you've been doing
And,
it at a hair salon lately.
well, and it seems really strange, but what it is I don't discriminate, okay, against anybody's business. It's like whoever needs help in their business or wants to host the show, it's like we will go there and we will gather. It doesn't matter what the venue is. What matters is the teaching. What matters is what you go out with and you change your life so that you touch everybody around you. And that's what we're doing. It's like creating like these soldiers of change. And it's the ultimate freedom because you really understand the depths of what love is all about. And not only that, but the reward is phenomenal. I mean, it's literally phenomenal. And I am so blessed to be the one to witness it over and over again, and the people who come to me. And it's like, I don't know, it's undescribable. Every time somebody sits at my table, like for example, most recently, this woman sitting across from me, and she's just like, "I have researched everything about you." She goes, "I have Googled you. I've looked at your website. I've watched all your videos. This, that," and she's just like,
Stalker.
just everything. Yeah, but she's just like, I just don't know what it is, but I'm just going to go based on faith because I don't know what I'm in for, and I'm a little scared. But I'm listening to her with just absolute joy in my heart and a smile on my face because she has no clue what she's about to do. When you come sit at my table, what happens next is like you literally go, "Holy shit, I had no idea life would be like this." That's right. That's right.
That's good.
And it is.
No.
It really is. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I get the same feeling when I go to Whiteside. A lot of these guys get, like, intimidated by their counselors and their case managers. And when I go there, because I don't have a degree, I'm not a case manager, I'm not a counselor. But when I go to Whiteside, they're like, dude, you're so real. You're just like, you're really hearing me. He goes, all these other people are like, they just talk. He goes, you're listening. He goes, that's like really weird for me. And that's what I do. That's why I go there every week.
And because it's from your heart, Dan, and that's exactly with me. I mean, I'm a certified life coach. I'm a minister. I have a degree. It means absolutely nothing to me, and I don't boast it. I don't say anything about it. It's never anything that I do or promote, because to me, that's all in man's world. Man's world is going to okay me, give me the authority, to teach. I don't believe in that. I have a true relationship with God, and everything that I do comes from my heart, and whatever message that I give it's like not even from my head. It's not premeditated. I never have anything planned. Nothing. Ever. When I do a live, I just let it roll. When I'm in front of people, in front of a crowd, I just let it roll. Never think about it. And it's just real life stuff. There's real life issues with real life people, and I give you real life answers in real time right now. And I can take whatever scripture there is, whatever it is that pertains to you right there, and give you an analogy that's going to stick with you so that you don't forget it.
Okay.
And you learn at lightning speed.
Okay, you're sounding too much like me.
Well, birds of a feather.
I know. And we're running out of time. Anything you want to plug? Your website, your Facebook page, anything?
Oh, my gosh.
Your YouTube?
Yeah.
It's
the Marilee. Yeah, you can find everything on the MarileeShow.com. You can go to YouTube and look up the Marilee Show. Facebook, the Marilee Show as well. But it's a fan page. I don't give it a lot of love because there's certain reasons there, but I do most everything on my personal page. And that's Marilee Klein Sweeney. I do my lives there, and then I'll share it everywhere else. But that's where I'll do my postings and I'll do my videos, and I'm most active there. But you can find the Marilee Show on Twitter and what's the other one, Instagram, and all over the place. Okay. But I invite everybody to get in touch with my team. If you go on to MarileeShow.com, you'll find both Marie and Adrian there, or Tim there. Just and go on to Facebook Live. Just do a live and say, hey, Marilee, I've got a question for you. Tag me, and I will answer you. And let's get this going. We're going to have a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, and you can find Marilee on my page. Of course, we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just go look up Dan Rupp and go to my Facebook page, and you'll see Marilee. She's one of my friends, and just tag her, and you'll be hooked up.
Absolutely.
Just get that going on, and it's great advice. You know what? I hate to say the F word, but fuck TV. I don't watch much of it.
I don't watch it at all. I don't even know how to use a remote.
I'd rather listen to you and listen to other people, and listen to people like my friend Gabby, who passed away this week from the Cadillac Tramps.
Right.
And, so we're gonna.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is when people pass away, you have to remember this: it's only the body. The breath goes back to where it came, and the knowledge, and then the all-knowing mind. So your relationship with Gabby is still here. You can actually call to her. Whatever good advice she gave you, or whatever answer you need.
It was a he.
Oh, he. Oh, okay, Gabby, like Gabrielle or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
Gabriel. Okay. But anyway, anybody who is suffering from that, from the loss of someone, they have to know that they're never ever gone, and you can call to them at any time. They will be there anytime.
Yeah.
You will feel them, your intuition. You will get your answers. Just call.
Yeah, he's been here in this studio, so he will be missed by many people here. That's why Ryan didn't do his show today. That's why my friend Dirt, I know it's stupid. It's not Dirt Williams couldn't come in. It's actually Derek. He didn't come in. A lot of people are down in Long Beach celebrating his life. So,
very nice.
Yeah, so
celebration. That's what we need.
Yeah.
A celebration, not a mourning.
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely.
So his band, the Cadillac Tramps, are playing tonight, and we're going to go out with them. So,
nice.
If Big Mike's ready, we'll play them. Thank you, Marilee, for calling in on short notice. And
I love you. I'll be here anytime.
Love you too.
We could call it Moments with Marilee. How's that? All these rants. Anyway.
I love it.
All right. Well, we'll do it again for sure, Dan. Thank you so much for having me.
Next time in person.
Okay. Promise.
Okay.
Thanks, dear. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.